Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Due to, I suppose you could call it, that strange and mixture of taxation and regulation, a lot of British companies are quite literally packing up. Many are fleeing the country. Some are just plain giving up, but a lot of them are fleeing the country and opening up shop in foreign, often warmer climes. Actually, to be fair, as a personal note, it's not just regulation and taxation. Some of us are doing it for litigation reasons. I've opened a company in Cyprus, and I'm waiting now just to get transfers over and move the ownership of my YouTube channel to the Cyprus company, simply so that it's being published abroad, and that way it's I can't. It just removes it from UK jurisdiction, So you got to be very careful on these things, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing it. But mainly, it's taxation and regulation. And what are the taxations and the regulations that we're talking about here? Well, obviously, the rise in national insurance, with the forthcoming rise likely in corporation tax, in capital gains tax, in investment tax, all sorts of things. It's making it much harder for companies based here to make any kind of profit. And so that's what's happening. Now, you don't need to physically be abroad to do this. You create a company abroad, you work here, but you have management fees that go across to that company. So they issue an invoice and lift the profit out of this country into that country, which means you're paying often a lower, corporation tax or personal taxation or something. Certainly, this is why Google are based in Ireland. And for those who don't know, it's not just Ireland. Malta, Spain. Spain's particularly good, I believe. Portugal, all sorts of places where the tax rates are lower. And often, of course, if it is productive as well, energy costs are lower. But anyway, 40% of SMEs, small and medium enterprises, have either fled the UK or are actively considering leaving, according to a Handelsbanken Wealth and Asset Management survey of over 200 business owners. Firms are pointing, as I say, at the jobs tax and the Union Employment Rights Bill. This bill that's been written ostensibly by Angela Rayner, but dictated to her by the unions. It's clobbering them, of course, with all these extra taxes and with red tape and regulation as to who you can employ, what you have to do once you've employed them, and so on. And it's very, very difficult. Now, one of the wheezes they're doing is that they create several companies here, the major company abroad, but then you employ people with one company, which you then subcontract to another company, which then subcontracts to another company, and so forth. And so you hire them on basically a contract basis, and then you can swap and change your contracts every few months. It's a way of limiting the liability to any one company. It's creating a little bit of paperwork. But it's the savings in terms of regulations and tax are immense. But Spain, as I say, tops the list of the preferred little havens for escaping Labour's Britain, followed by the US, then France. The US is great because if you do something in, like, for example, Delaware, you can set the company up, a limited company up in Delaware, or incorporate it in Delaware, and you can have anonymized directors, and as long as the money isn't being created, isn't earned in America, you don't pay any tax on it. Why else would you do this? And of course, what you do then is you create a bank account in, say, Panama, again, anonymized. And then you've got this money being created over there, no tax, money's going into Panama, well out of everything of the British taxman's reach. Hey ho. This is a public service announcement. Thank me later. Anyway, just 1 in 10 business owners say they're planning to hire people. So 90% say they're not hiring. And that's after a third of firms warned of job cuts. And it's going to get worse. Now, one of the things that this genius in number 11 said is that small and medium enterprises are the backbone of our society. Well, they won't be for long when they're all in Spain or America or anywhere. But they won't be here, will they? And of course, it's this that she says are going to grow the economy. But again, it's very hard to grow something when they're all leaving. And like I say, I've created my company in Cyprus simply for the purpose. I mean, I'll still be here making the videos. You understand, huh? But they'll be going to Cyprus to be edited and uploaded, and so therefore I'm only a contributor. And it'll be the company in Cyprus that is the publisher. And that way, when anyone moans about my videos, I say, go and speak to the publisher of the channel. And I go, certainly. And then they go, but that's in Cyprus. And I go, yes. They say, but that's outside our jurisdiction. And I go, yes. Well, we can't do anything about it. And I go, no. And there you go. So these things happen. But you've got to look after yourself, haven't you? And again, you can't blame these companies for doing this with going to Spain. Why are you going to Spain? Because I can't be working on the regulations you have for the hiring of people. So I'm going to Spain. I'm setting up in Spain. And so what we'll have here is I'm going to have, let's say, could be anything, couldn't it? It could be, it used to be a small business, a small building company or something. Oh yes, I got me electricians, still got me electricians, me plumbers and everything working, but they work for a limited company here, which pays all its profits to the company in Spain. And so I don't get taxed at the British rate, and I don't get, I'm not under British regulations because if there's any problems here, I can just close that company and open up another company. Or I can hire them directly, but I hire them directly to the Spanish company, and therefore they're working under the Spanish regulations. Or even if you have to hire a few people here under British regulations, you can have all your admin staff in Spain under Spanish regulations, for example. There's lots of ways around it. And that's exactly what's happening. 40% of this country's SMEs. That's now. Wait until it actually bites. Be 60 or 70%. And then where's the company? Where's the country when all the companies in it are foreign owned? The genius of number 11 strikes again. Thanks very much. Bye.